So in the UK, we know the Nazis did not make it across the Channel, so that nobody was deported from here, and all Stolpersteiner are placed in front of the last home of choice. So there is a case for placing them in the Channel Islands. So far, there haven't been any requests from the Channel Islands, but Jewish people and other people who had hidden Jewish people, or there were all sorts of people deported. And also on one of the islands, Alderney, there were many Spanish prisoners of war, Slavs, who were just massacred. So there's many reasons why there should be Stolpersteiner in the Channel Islands. We don't impose them, so we don't say we have to place them everywhere, and so far there's been no requests from there. There has been a request in London from a woman who would like to place a Stolperstein for an art historian who was living here when the Nazis came to power. Her family were on the continent. She went to find her family, and she was then murdered with her parents. And the idea is to place a Stolperstein for her in London. That would be unorthodox, but it would be great. And there's another project which goes against the original rules, but it's to talk about today. It's to place a Stolpersteiner for people who came over on Kindertransports. And hopefully something will be done for them in Harwich next year. I think what's interesting, and that's what I see as the international coordinator, in Germany, people my age, my grandparents went through the war. I heard about it. My French grandparents saw the German occupation. They told me about the war. And my American dad's father was a pilot in the war. The Germans of my generation, they're happy to say that their grandparents were terrible people. They won't tell you that they're SS, but they'll tell you that they were terrible people nonetheless, and they distance themselves because they've been told to do that. People of Gunter Demnick's generation of the 60s, people who were born just after the war, my parents' generation, they struggled much more, and they rejected their parents' generation, so that our generation are able to say, yeah, we were bad, we're different, we're moving on. I think in other countries, especially in France and Poland, these are the two countries, France has found it extremely difficult to admit that not everybody was in the resistance at all. And I've never heard a French person say to me that their grandparents were collaborators. And yet there were more collaborators than there were resistance fighters. But because of the post-war situation in France, that has only come out in recent years. So it's much more difficult for them, I think, to say the French state collaborated. Many millions of, hundreds of thousands of people were deported. Many did come back, and the French tend to say that. And it's true that the French hid more people than any other European country. So there is a case also for saying the French weren't as bad. Nonetheless, Poland is also an extremely interesting issue because they were caught between Russia and Germany. The major death camps were on Polish territory, but many Polish people also died. At the moment, for the Stolpersteiner, they don't have them in too many places. Because if you've ever been to Krakow or to Warsaw, or how many Stolpersteiner would you see? In Germany, even though they embrace the project, but even if they place them for all German Jews, that won't be too many, because Germany didn't have so many. Poland would be another matter.